Thanks for joining Veiled Mystic today as we examine the psychic ability telekinesis. Please like and subscribe if you enjoy this presentation. Telekinesis, the mind over matter ability to move objects. Telekinesis refers to the paranormal ability to move physical objects using only the power of the mind and will, without touching them physically. Also called psychokinesis or mind over matter, true telekinesis requires mentally projecting some form of invisible energetic force able to influence, lift, vibrate or spin items from across a room or other distances. Reports of telekinetic powers date back thousands of years to legends of mystic sages and prophets seemingly able to manifest items at will, control wildlife through a gaze, animate golems, or levitate themselves while in trance states to impress followers as signs of spiritual attainment. While often assumed the realm of fantasy novels or stage magic tricks, a surprising body of experimental evidence suggests at least rudimentary telekinetic ability likely exists latently within human beings and can manifest given the proper training and belief conditions. Defining traits of telekinesis. Before exploring theories behind this fascinating psychic phenomenon, what exactly characterizes the experience of telekinesis itself? How might it first manifest and what does it feel like to wield such forces? Across the spectrum of anecdotal reports from those claiming conscious control over TK energy manipulation, some shared themes emerge. Focal item command. True telekinesis requires being able to influence and direct specific items rather than just creating random kinetic outbursts like knocking paintings off walls or shattering windows. Genuine TK practitioners describe honing willpower towards chosen objects to make them slide, roll, spin or lift on command. Effort and stamina dependent. While fantasy depictions show telekinesis manifesting easy as blinking one's eyes, real-world TK experiences involve mentally straining to output raw psi energy sufficient for measurable object movement. Like flexing an invisible muscle, bursts prove severely draining yet might gradually grow in scale or duration through repeated practice. Even small 3 ounces changes become tiring. Emotion and belief govern skill. Similar to spellcrafting, a telekinetic's confidence in their abilities coupled with degree of emotional investment/intent shapes potency, moving forth spark energy from subconscious reservoirs. Anxiety/doubt weaken while conviction/need empower spectacular TK displays. This reflects the poltergeist phenomenon where turbulent psychological states unconsciously unleash dramatic psychokinetic effects from the projection of bottled inner forces. In contrast, learned voluntary control favors calm detached effort. Physical sensations precede manifestation. Practitioners describe buildup of tingling pressures in the forehead and temple regions as psychic energy coalesces into transmission vectors directed at the chosen item. Auditory phenomena like ear hums sometimes accompany rising intensity levels across the skull until finally cross-threshold triggers the TK discharge, launching the visible manifestation. So in overview, true conscious telekinesis requires extreme mental focus and free-flowing belief projections rather than just wild emotion. Skilled practitioners describe a state blending intense dedication and relaxed confidence once force begins streaming towards the target while avoiding performance anxiety sabotage. Next, let's discuss scientific exploration of telekinesis. Discussing theories around observed telekinetic phenomena requires first establishing it as an actual reality beyond chance or magic tricks. So what does nearly a century of experimental parapsychological research actually reveal? Early claims face skepticism, when eccentric figures like spiritualist medium Daniel Dunglass-Home intrigued Victorian society with theatrical psychokinetic stunts like self-levitation or playing ghostly tunes on untouched musical instruments. Scientists largely dismissed his antics as clever illusions preying on gullibility. Only strictly controlled tests could hope to prove TK as an authentic psychic force. Lab trials detect anomalies. Later innovation of devices able to measure minute movements, temperatures and neural correlations coinciding with the test subject's attempt to telekinetically influence targets did uncover instrumental reactions exceeding expectations of chance error even if small and inconsistent in margins. Meta-analyses of scores of these telekinesis trials using random number generators, weight displacement arms, robotics and electronics able to capture subtle reactions to focused human intention demonstrate moderate evidence something novel occurs, if not conclusive movement forces. TK seems to display more intuitively while avoiding rigid test environments. Mind over matter masters emerge. Meanwhile, daring individuals like Bulgarian psychic Nina Kulagina achieved global fame in the 1960s-70s through daredevil displays apparently stopping her heart will in medical exams or telekinetically manipulating objects as heavy as 400 pounds with perfect accuracy while cameras rolled. Uri Geller similarly wowed audiences bending metal cutlery without touch. The extreme outlier talent these grandmasters demonstrated under intense on-camera scrutiny bolstered telekinetic claims and public imagination despite inevitably being targets for debunkers. Less dramatic micro-park remains the norm. Quantum models spur speculation, as quantum theories in physics revealed how consciousness plays a central role in manifesting probabilistic potentials from wave function collapse at microscales. Thinkers began speculating psi energy tapped into reality's hidden non-local, holographic dominion beyond Einstein's spacetime to achieve temporary macroscale superpositions when applied intensely enough. This quantum mind hypothesis remains debated as the most likely explanation for psychokinetic evidence accrued. So despite the tremendous difficulty reliably stimulating, measuring or scientifically explaining the mechanics of macroscale telekinesis, a host of experiments and demonstrations gathered over decades does indicate human consciousness can influence random systems and manifest subtle kinetic reactions through intensive faculties modern science only begins grasping theoretically. This data merits deeper exploring theories around what telekinetic energy may constitute as an extension of natural human bioenergy fields and focus. Theories on the nature of telekinesis. If telekinesis seems credible given the extensive investigations conducted, what in theory allows the human mind to interface with external objects using apparent metaphysical forces? Several key models theorized based on extensions of known biophysical energies. Pranic control. Drawing from Indian yogic traditions, telekinesis masters may have awakened amplification of internal prana bioenergies and redirected this dense chi to push, lift or agitate items near them. Through this lens, vivid telekinetics constitute extremely gifted pranic puppeteers. Bioplasmic projection. Scientists observed minute electromagnetic fields, biophotons and other ultra-faint energy emissions surrounding living organisms. This bioenergy fluctuation gets termed the bioplasma body overlaying corporeality like an inverted halo. Russian research suggests bioplasmic limbs can conduct various paranormal interactions. Rare individuals may wield telekinetic control consciously directing their bioplasmic projections. Localized field resonance. Building on quantum physics principles, consciousness itself manifests as an energetic field interfacing closely with ambient zero-point quantum vacuum fluctuations permeating reality, essentially creating matter moment by moment via observation/intention. Telekinetic states conceivably amplify and manipulate this omnipresent Q field resonance using neural quantum coherence effects in the brain, achieving psychokinetic action at a distance. Thoughtform tulpe. Mystical occult traditions assert trained minds can generate autonomous psionic constructs such as poltergeists or temporary ectoplasmic servitors able to visibly interact physically through drawing ambient free energy from their surroundings. Viewed as maladaptive unconscious projections in hauntings, consciously created thought forms may account for controlled telekinetic action. So whether through magnifying subtler bioenergies humans already emanate or manifesting helper entities from mental substance itself, several theories regarding the underlying mechanism behind psychokinetic feats like object movement have emerged for consideration as physics explores consciousness and space's hidden potentials. Now let's explore training one's telekinetic ability. If telekinesis appears theoretically possible as an innate human potential, even if limited in scope, can someone actually cultivate such a radical mind over matter skill through practice? What training tactics extrapolate from historic reports? Meditation as foundation. Generating sizable psi energy requires exceptional stillness of body and focus of mind. Rudimentary telekinetic attempts absolutely demand calming mental chatter via focused meditation, conscious breathing and mindfulness habits first before directly flexing willpower towards objects. Physical relaxation allows all effort flowing through subtle channels. Mastering meditation forms the bedrock for everything that follows. Visualization methods. With meditation ability cultivated, imaginative visualization serves as the next telekinetic training phase. Here the practitioner uses guided imagery to clearly envisage streams of energy building up across their body, then mentally directs this river towards targets with growing vividness. Imagining object movement as deeply as possible is critical. Advanced students continue amplification exercises through layered visualization needed later for actual manifestation. Emotional channeling. By recalling powerful memories and consciously projecting such resonant feelings into psychic energy streams via breathwork, adepts can harvest untapped power from their own passion, trauma and conviction when boosted visualization fails to suffice alone. This emotional fuel feeds telekinetic discharge yet requires strict impulse control lest it backfires. Cathartic aura clears beforehand ensure clean energy flow. Psychokinetic exercises. Only through repeated attempts moving objects like pens or paper dots does tangible telekinetic skill develop. Early steps may simply gaze at items for motion while projecting kinetic energy from the temples. Slight vibrations get celebrated. Each microturbulence guides the next attempt, building in roads intensity. Fledgling TK success requires tireless dedication through incremental baby steps, summing to giant leaps over time. So like developing any radical mind/body ability, training telekinesis requires tremendous patience yet pays dividends through noticeably increased psychic connectivity and somatic control once channeled constructively. Now that we've covered telekinesis fundamentals from historic cases and theories to pragmatic training considerations, let's explore final fascinating areas related to its practice. Paranormal perils of untrained telekinesis. While desired as a profound psychic ability, telekinesis unrestrained also threatens severe disturbances without ethical constraints and wisdom guiding its use. Physical and mental health risks. Attempting intense telekinetic feats before establishing clean conductors through psychic hygiene, energy mastery, and visual emotional channeling focus can manifest chaotic side effects across one's body and psychology. Reports abound of obsessive dabblers suffering backlash like burns, numbness, migraines, sleep paralysis, or Maxwellian demon possession from reckless efforts bridging gross to subtle dimensions. Self-deception hazards. Practitioners advise avoiding inflated ego and entitlement delusions from latently wielded energies, since downfall or misdirection into spiritual materialism often follows unless strictly checking narcissistic impulses. Grounding passions in service and honesty keeps telekinetic paths aligned to highest interests rather than hubris. Karmic consequences. Horrific karma awaits those manipulating others or violating free will through projecting telekinetic forces aggressively without permission as one medium for selfish fulfillment or coercion. The means never justify unwise ends. Ethics determine if abilities lift up or tear down. Thus, in overview, controlled telekinetic education demands not just technical feats but maybe more essentially emotional maturity and moral philosophy guiding inevitable life changes which come from touching increased power. Mere exhibitionism will only end in folly. With such cautions covered, let's conclude by pondering a telekinetic future and society. Looking forwards, how might wider confirmation and training practices focused on allowing telekinetic abilities affect cultures if suppression gave way to open development? Both utopian and dystopian speculation abounds. Paradigm upheaval in science. Concrete proof of conscious psi feats shattering materialism could spur massive impact on physics theories, neuroscience, clinical psychology and bioscience directions as invisible energies behind telekinesis got directly studied rather than dismissed in mainstream academia. Entire university departments may form around psychic research. Psionic technology revolution. Although limited individually, telekinetic citizens en masse donating minute psychokinetic work parallel to cloud computing networks could allow incredible feats like directly controlling AI through thought symbiosis, manipulating matter in distant production plants, or mining asteroids. Creative economic applications abound. Politics and conspiracies aside, any rational growth, the militarization of telekinetic operatives for clandestine special forces or intelligence manipulation seems inevitable throughout history. Rogue elements indoctrinated towards mind control could wreak tremendous havoc. Power games invite greater power games. Utopian philosophy, at its most idealistic peak, telekinetic training adopted broadly may shift civilization values away from brute materialism, environmental domination and shallow high-tech towards sustainable living, decentralized governance, compassionate ethics and spiritual priorities. The ability could bring out humanity's best. So in all, the unveiling of telekinesis stands poised to either empower global culture through enhanced physical control and deeper revelations of consciousness, or doom it should wickedness taint abilities ahead of wisdom. Our trajectory teeters. Yet whatever unfolds sociopolitically, once telekinesis manifests beyond deniability, life will undoubtedly scintillate far richer for citizens touching their greater energetic heritage. At last as known reality blossoms for those minds daring to lift the veil.